Hello and welcome everyone, Lionheart here, and today I am reviewing the Steelseries Stratus. This is an iOS compatible gaming controller. Now before we go any further, I will just say which iOS devices it is compatible for, because it's not compatible with absolutely all of them. It's compatible with iOS 7 devices, so that is an iPhone 5, iPhone 5C, iPhone 5S, iPad mini, iPad mini with Retina, 4th generation iPad, iPad Air, and the iPod Touch. Those are all the ones that it supports. Lists of games that it supports are in the description. They are more and more being added all the time. When this first launched, there weren't a huge amount of games. Now there's a pretty comprehensive list, both of free and paid games that you can buy on the App Store. So just for iOS devices at the moment, and yeah, let's have a look at this thing. This is the Stratus. It's got a plastic protective casing which you can take off to reveal the controller in all its glory. The plastic casing can also be turned around, clipped on the back there, and you've got extra grip then to hold the controller and game with. Pretty good idea that, but you can also game with it off if you want. I personally prefer it off. I prefer the feel of it without it, and I'll talk about it a little bit more in a moment. But anyway, so you have two analog sticks, a D-pad, 4 buttons A, Y, X and B. You also have a pause button in the middle, which for most games will bring up its menu. I'm pressing that button right now because I've got the device turned on via the switch at the side. It just flashes up the battery indication, 4 lights, so it is near full charge, which is 10 hours, which is pretty darn good for tablet gaming. It takes around about 2 hours to charge up via the micro USB that charges it with the USB at the other end there. Charge it so you can plug it into your computer to charge, or you can plug it into a USB charger. It also comes with a nice little carry case which it will happily fit in. Steelseries logo branding there. And just to give you an idea about the size, this is a Samsung Galaxy S4. So it pretty much just fits on the screen of my S4. It is pretty darn small. So if you have big hands, you might want to look at something different. But for me, I've got pretty normal sized hands. I like to think no one's ever said, "God, you've got huge hands." So yeah, the control's really easy to use. I guess even with bigger hands, actually, you could probably still control it quite fine anyway. For my hands, it's perfect fit. I don't have an issue with any of the buttons or anything like that. All the placement is fine. It's really easy to access everything. On the top there you have L1, R1, R2 and L2 buttons. There's the charging port there. And on the back is the pairing button. So once you've turned on Bluetooth on your iPad or iOS device that's compatible, turn the Bluetooth on, hold down that pairing button for 5 seconds. That should engage the Stratus's pairing mode, and then it should appear on your screen and you can hit connect, and it will then remember the device it's connected to when you next turn it on and you've got Bluetooth going. It should automatically connect, and then when you load up a game, it will activate itself. So you should be seeing some footage of Lego Lord of the Rings right now, and mixed in with some Sonic Transform Racing coming up while I talk about the next few bits about the controller. So I think it's pretty easy to use, and actually I was pretty hesitant about a controller for iPad, because obviously you have all the controls on screen normally, but I've actually found this incredibly useful to use. I've never really been much of a tablet gamer, to be honest. I think I was mainly put off by the controls on screen. It's just never really felt that comfortable, never felt that easy to use. And this has actually really got me interested in tablet gaming. So if anything, thank you Stratus for renewing my love of all things gaming and getting me involved in some tablet gaming. So you can see in between the Lego Lord of the Rings footage and the Stratus gaming, it's incredibly responsive. Reacts very quick to all the commands I'm putting in, and again, more games that add support for the controller is just going to be an even better thing. Obviously not all games are supported. Again, check that link in the description for a list of games that are in there. So things that I don't necessarily like about the Stratus: the plastic case, while good to protect everything for while you're travelling, and you can obviously put it in that little bag as well, and it clips in on the front fine, but I found a little bit of trouble clipping it on the back properly. Get it on there, and it doesn't want to completely clip all the time, and I have to put a bit of pressure on to get it to snap on completely. I don't know if that's because it needs bigger clips or it needs somewhere on the back where it can specifically clip on, or what, but now it's on there, it's fine, you know, after a little bit of struggle. So I'm gaming, and I put a little bit of pressure on the right hand side to, you know, hold the grip or whatever like that, because you're bound to do that, and it just pulls the plastic up from the left hand side a little bit, which then means that the casing comes off and it will slide off. So I would have preferred kind of slightly stronger grips on there. Now the controller itself, I really can't fault this, and obviously I should say with that casing it's completely optional. I actually prefer it without the extra grip anyway. I don't need it. There is kind of little groove marks on the back where my fingers naturally sit, so that's not a problem for me. The issue most of you are going to find with this, and the reason why I'm only going to give this an 8 out of 10, is because this is nearly £70, which all the way through I've been thinking kind of like, it's a good controller, it's a good controller. I got sent this to review, but you know, if I was going to spend £70 on a controller, that is quite expensive. You know, most PlayStation, Xbox controllers, PC controllers even, that you can get, I think they top out around about £40, £50, and they're a full-size controller. For something portable, I know smaller means more expensive normally, but I think £70 is probably pushing it a bit. Maybe at £50 I could have, you know, probably given it a strong 9 out of 10 and just, you know, just that little bit of casing, or maybe even 10 out of 10 and just ignored the casing, to be honest, because it is optional to wear on the back. But that is quite a steep price for a controller. Now the controller works fine with all my iOS devices that I've tried it with, obviously all the ones that are compatible, and I have to actually kind of thank the controller for getting me really invested in a lot of gaming. I haven't really looked at tablet gaming properly because I just don't like the on-screen controls. This has definitely got me interested. I've been playing a lot of LEGO Lord of the Rings and Transform Racing over the last couple of weeks, and it's all thanks to this. But at £70, that is quite a premium for a controller like this that is just restricted to iOS devices. Perhaps if this was a multi-platform controller, then £70, you know, if I could use this on my PC as well, then, and my Android phone, then maybe £70 I'd be okay with that. But £70 nearly, I should say, it is 67.90. So I'm just saying £70 because it's the closest markup, obviously. So for nearly £70 for this, it is just a bit too much, I'm afraid. So that's why it gets an 8 out of 10 for me. Bit of the shielding, pricing. You've had a chance to see some of the LEGO Lord of the Rings footage and Sonic Transformed Racing. If you've got any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments. I'll more than happily reply to any of those. But I do think that if you are really invested in tablet gaming, and if you can afford that price, then it is definitely worth getting. And if not, maybe it's time to put it down on the birthday list or Christmas list from the parents. So it's definitely a good device, it's just the price is a smidge steep. But I really do like it. It's really nice and good to use. Connects really easily via Bluetooth. I have had issues with Bluetooth accessories in the past. This connects and stays connected perfectly. Charging within 2 hours, as I said previously, and a 10-hour battery life. I've not been able to kill it. 8 out of 10 for the Steelseries Stratus. Links in the description if you want to buy it, find out all the games that are compatible with it, and feel free to give me a comment or question if you have any. Ciao for now.